This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Hello and welcome to We All Belong, Voices of Lived Experiences. My name is Carol Merton. Our participants today are sharing their stories to increase awareness and understanding about the challenges of everyday living and survival. Some are unhoused or at risk of not having a roof over their heads. I thank the support agencies and services who work hard every day to meet people's needs and who have helped in the development of this program. Today, we're actually taping on location at Safe and Sound. So from time to time, you may hear some noise in the background. It is perfectly fine. We continue on with the interview, but this is their spot for those who like to come in, grab a coffee, get something to eat. And so we're in the back laundry room area. You may notice clothing in the background, and that's where we're taping. So today I am delighted to welcome Laurie to the program. Laurie has asked that we not portray her picture. She's happy to go through the questions and answers and explain about her story, but she's requested that we respect her privacy, and we will do so. Laurie, thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
So I wanted to know, how long have you lived in Owen Sound?
54 years.
54 years. So you're really one Owen Sounder then. Yep. And why are you here? Is this home for you as far as family?
I was born and raised here, but yeah.
So it truly is home for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Edward Arthur Menard was my grandfather.
Okay.
Yeah, so kind of sent it down that way.
Okay.
I'm the oldest granddaughter.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I find this a tough question to ask, but would you consider yourself homeless?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell us about what has led you to becoming homeless?
I got kicked out. Well, everything just started snowballing down by 2016 after.
So you had some tough life experiences, and you ended
Oh,
up...
the last 6 years, yeah.
And you left, okay.
Last 6 years has been really tough.
So I wanted to ask you a little bit about the last 6 years, but especially about, is there a part of town that you prefer to spend your time in? Where are you?
Down by the water, usually.
What is it about the water that draws you?
Healing.
Healing. You find the water helpful. Yeah. I actually can understand
Well, my
that.
head's immune, so yeah.
Yeah, so the water.
Yeah.
What's the most difficult thing for you about living here in Owen Sound?
Being game.
Say more. You feel under attack?
All the time.
So you don't feel safe?
No.
I want to talk a little more to you about that and about your health, because it's important.
My health's good.
Is
The
your-
Mental Health Act is not good. My grandfather brought that here back in 1967, Gord Stratton.
So you're finding that physically you're doing okay even though you're homeless,
Yes.
but your mental health can be a challenge from time to time.
Not mine. Everybody in my goddamn fucking mental health. Excuse my French, but yeah.
So others
French,
around you,
Yeah.
are
They're just out to
challenged.
make game to, kill this silver goddamn freaking wolf.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about where you spend your time. You say you're homeless.
Well, I live at Stone Tree.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have
Actually,
an
the old meth
apartment
lab.
or a
Yeah,
room?
number 18. This is a meth lab back in time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's where you are now.
Yeah, with Brad McKenzie.
Okay. And does it work for you? Because Stone Tree, now that's out of town a little bit. How do you get into town?
The GTR.
Okay. So that
Or I walk
transit.
in. Do a lot of walking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the transit bus is helpful for the GTR.
Yeah, it's an industry thing, yeah.
Yeah, or you'll walk in. So either
Yeah.
way. So when you come into town, you're down by the river.
Down by the water, I like the best, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And you come into Safe and Sound here from time to time as well?
Yeah,
Yeah?
periodically, almost every day when I'm in town, yeah.
So what are the most important things for you that you need every day?
I need privacy,
Okay.
because the state freaking police thing isn't working for me. That's Moore's Law, right?
And that's why it was important that your face not be on camera, because the privacy is really, really, and you feel
they're already
safe.
doing that to me 24/7.
Yeah. So you're just not comfortable.
County slots with my motherboard.
So I wanted to ask you a little bit about everyday survival and where you get your food.
I come downtown, I eat down here, or we have food through the Salvation Army.
Okay.
We come down to farmers market and
Where the supportive outreach team is, you mean?
Yeah, we come down there usually every other Wednesday and get some food there too, and
Yeah. So you have to.
O'Share and eat there too.
So you go from place to place, depending,
Yes.
to be able to get food every day.
Yes.
And it just depends on the day of the week where you have to go, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other support things that you require? I notice there's lots of clothing behind us, but do you access clothing?
Here in the Mental Health Act there across from the coach.
Okay, so Mental Health Association,
Yes.
yeah, are two places that you get your
The two
clothing.
places, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So where do you go to get warm in the winter?
Stay home.
So because you
we're not
have,
supposed to have winter. That's man-made.
I don't like winter. I prefer
That's
this weather.
Freaking weather's thing. Yeah, it's get off me, right?
I'm with you. And cooling down in the summer, do you have air conditioning where you are?
No.
So winter you're okay because you've got warmth in where you stay, but how do you cool down in the summer in the heat waves?
I like the heat.
You're okay then.
Yeah.
Imagine down by the water as well. It might feel a little
Well,
cooler.
you get the breeze off the water, right?
Yeah, so that really helps you. Have you ever had to stay overnight in a shelter
No.
and not in a motel room?
I had in the motel room, but then the chain gang came along and at the Key Motel and Travelers, and they
It
trashed
wasn't-
my rooms on me.
Yeah, so you didn't feel safe there.
Well, then after that, they wouldn't allow me to have a room anymore.
Do you ever spend the night, or have you ever spent the night outside?
Yeah, many nights. Till
Really?
the last couple of years ago, yeah.
When you, yeah,
I'm survivalist.
definitely. So when you sleep outside, when you have to, how do you choose a place to stay? How would you select a place for you?
I just walk with my feet beating me the way.
So you don't have a particular favorite. I'm not asking you
No.
to tell me where that is.
I've slept many different places here and there.
Just wherever your
downtown,
feet take
by
you.
the water, usually downtown area.
Yeah, yeah. Are you frightened when you have to sleep outside?
No, I'm safer outside than inside.
Really?
Yeah.
So you actually feel safer when you're outside?
Yeah, because then I'm not, I'm more mobile and they can't stage and,
Yeah.
you know.
So you can get
freaking-
away if you need to.
It's just easier on the outside right now.
And that kind of answers my next question. Why do you think some people would rather sleep outside and avoid shelters? And you've just basically said, get you feel
Because
safer.
they get themselves all freaking lined up to attack you more when you're stabilized, right? Because
Yeah.
then they're dominant, and then they're waiting for you to come back home, or they're being your stuff at home, you're carrying everything. It was lighter because
Yeah.
I found a lot of things, and they just take ownership of everything I found. I found blue clay, yellow clay, and gold clay, and they had Frank diaries. I found them too, the originals.
So you were definitely, you feel that having the opportunity to get away and not be enclosed in the space is safer for you.
Yeah. Trees help me,
Friends.
like nature.
Nature is healing for you.
Nature is
Yeah.
my teacher, yeah.
Do you have friends around that you can talk to if you
There's
need
a few
to?
I have,
Yes, yeah.
but my good ones, probably the Hamilton's crew.
Okay. So when you come into Safe and Sound, you at least see some familiar faces, right?
Yeah.
So you don't feel totally alone? Or do you feel alone most of the time?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. That's hard, to be alone. Yeah.
It's easy though too, because then you're like lone wolf, right? Like, dude, I'm also top cop and lone wolf, and I don't have to worry about being a cliche of having to cover anybody else's ass. I have my own ass to
Yeah,
cover,
you
right?
just take care of yourself as your focus.
Yes.
Yeah. Family, community, how do you keep in touch with them? Or do you?
I just, whenever I see them or phone them or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not a regular thing. You just have to reach
No.
out. Do you think being homeless is different for men than women?
It's on your individual experience.
Okay. Do you ever feel more at risk because you're a female?
No.
Okay. So, and what do you think the rest of the community needs to understand about being homeless?
Never judge a book by its cover.
Tell me more.
Well,
Never
some
judge
people
a
are
book.
there because they're doing their jobs.
Yep. So impressions.
Impressions are nothing. It's the truth that matters most. Everything, right?
Yeah. So look beyond what you see.
Yeah, just like Patch Adams did in the movie.
Yeah.
With
Yep.
Look
What
beyond.
would make your life better?
For them to stop and see a game of Russian roulette on my goddamn body.
So you
Not a
would
human
feel
being.
that would help.
Definitely.
If you had
And
three
get
wishes.
the real truth out there instead of all this misinformation with Guru and Netflix and all that from
Yeah.
going around, because that's all Bollywood bullcrap.
And it's really important for you to have the truth.
Truth is important.
I
for
have a
everybody.
question about three wishes.
Mm-hmm.
If you had three wishes for you and your survival, what would they be?
That all my labor, my work's come to fruition.
Yeah? Would you choose to live in a different place?
Oh, I'm definitely moving out of this town.
Yeah, so you would
This is mother
relocate.
ground, but I'm getting the hell out of here, man.
So relocating is going to be important for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I need to go see more of Canada. I want to be like a motorhome and
Yeah.
get my
And-
house back to myself because they're on my house and
Yeah.
in my Area 51
And that's important.
they've taken lots of me and I want everything back to everybody get their own being back.
Laurie, I want to thank you. Our time is up. I can't
Okay.
believe how fast.
That was
Thank
good.
you so much.
I'm glad that's over.
And I just want to sign off to the
Mm-hmm.
audience. Thank you for joining us today for We All Belong, Voices of Lived Experiences. Please join us again. And thank you again, Laurie, for joining us
Thank
today.
you for letting me speak.
Johnny wanted to go back home. It was 1,000 kilometers away. They forced him to go to the Indian residential school. More than 150,000 of us children had to go. They wanted to change us.
Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name.
Hallowed be your name.
Thy kingdom come,
Thy kingdom come.
thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
Kill the Indian and the child. It's been called cultural genocide. I survived residential school. My brother Johnny did not.
Chani Wenjack was one of thousands of children who died due to Canada's residential school system. More than 80,000 survivors and their families still live with its legacy today.
Are you the type who would keep going or stop? It's not easy to stop when you have an addiction. Legalizing cannabis won't stop addiction. It trivializes its consumption. Let's be vigilant. If you need help, visit portage.ca.
Hello and welcome to We All Belong, Voices of Lived Experiences. My name is Carol Merton and I'm delighted that you're joining us today for this program. The participants in this program are sharing their stories to increase awareness and understanding about the challenges of everyday living and survival. Some of the participants have roofs over their head, some are unhoused, and some are at risk of being unhoused. I thank those support services and agencies who have working hard every day to meet people's needs, and also who have helped in the development of this program. So today I am delighted to welcome Victoria to the program. Victoria is a staff member at Safe and Sound, and she is a harm reduction worker. So I'm very interested to learn more about harm reduction and what harm reduction workers do. So thank you so much for being on the program.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So tell me a little bit about how long you've been here and what actually brought you to this role.
Yeah, so I started for the Out of the Cold program last November. For the winter months, I worked the 5 to 10 shift, a majority of the nights, which was good. I started at Safe and Sound because I already done a lot of peer support in the past, and I got my harm reduction certificate and peer support with this 8-week program I did previously to working here. So that kind of helped in my interview process, knowing a bit about harm reduction and peer support and just the work that I would be doing here. So yeah, I started in November and worked all through the winter for Out of the Cold, which was difficult at times, but really rewarding at others. Keeping people from the winter extremes and the snow and cold was, it was good to be a part of that, to keep them safe and warm and fed.
Yeah. So from your experience, the role of harm reduction, is it changing for you as you've been in this role for a few months now? What do you do in your day for harm reduction? Take me through that.
Yeah, so the harm reduction here, we have various harm reduction supplies that people can access. So they just need to give their name and age, and if they're picking up for someone else or themselves, and then how many quantities of each harm reduction item that they need to use safely, and not be using used materials to engage in the activities that they're doing. So yeah, we give out a variety of harm reduction, which is beneficial because it gives them safe supplies, so they're not, catching other things from using. And yeah, the harm reduction has probably stayed the same throughout the months of people who get it, but usually a couple of people a day will access those services or more. Yeah.
I know when I took a tour of Safe and Sound, I got to see the different kits. Like I will confess, I did not understand the differences in the kits, but they are different depending on the purpose, right? So, people who inject versus people who don't would have different kits available to them. So who actually provides these kits? Does it come from public health? Does it?
I believe public health gives them to Safe and Sound, and then we record all the data of who's taking it and if they take Narcan with them, which helps if you overdose on opiates. It kind of brings you back into your normal self and can get you help faster. If you use Narcan, if you're overdosing, can bring you back to consciousness, which is very important to have here. I think all businesses should have Narcan just in case an overdose happens near their business. I always carry it on me in my business. Through my business, Tots Tie-Dye, I also do harm reduction. I have a Narcan and pamphlets so people can see the different resources through my business, and then through this business, I'm an advocate for the harm reduction as well.
So you've been able to take it not just in your environment here at Safe and Sound, but out into the community to spread the message about it through another business venture that you're involved in, which is good.
Yeah, I like to spread mental health awareness to everyone, and using safely is part of that. So I just want to make more people aware of the resources that are available.
So What do you say to people when they push back against safe supply or the harm reduction? Let's talk specifically about harm reduction. You know, do you get people say, well, why are you doing that? Why are you giving out kits? Or do most people understand the need?
I haven't really got negative feedback from it, but I think people who have a negative perspective maybe are the ones who are finding like the kits not disposed properly, which is a thing. But if they're disposed properly, there's no really harm, and it's very beneficial, and it's not really doing harm unless they litter. But that's not really the problem of harm reduction. That's just the person itself who's not cleaning up properly after them. But other than that, I've heard very positive things about harm reduction, how it's needed. Yeah,
because there are certainly things that can happen. The question I've been asking others that I've interviewed, those with lived experiences, you know, about their health. And how do you take care of your health? And using the harm reduction kits, you referenced it helps to keep them from getting other issues. So what other things are they at risk of if they didn't have safe supplies?
Well, if you're using like unclean needles, you could get hepatitis or HIV probably with the needles. Yeah. So having safe supply of needles that and like kits where they can dispose of them safely is really beneficial. So they're using the harm, but also putting the waste in a safe container so no one can. Because then, if it's a used needle and someone else touches who doesn't use, they could still get the same complications from that.
From your experience, and you mentioned about the disposal, and you're right, you know, when things aren't disposed of, it doesn't help with the whole perspective around supplies. Do we have enough disposal receptacles throughout our Owen Sound for things like needles, or are there enough? Is it because people don't have access to that we're finding things maybe disposed of perhaps on the ground that should be in a receptacle?
Well, we do give out safety containers, and there is larger ones around town. Yeah. And I went to a meeting, and they handed out like packages of disposable bins with like pliers or tweezers to like pick up needles, and like a bin to keep them safe, and you can always dispose them at Public Health or Safe and Sound. So there should be enough options available. It's just whether or not people are using them correctly.
So it's partly people's behavior, but also making sure that there's safe ways of disposing of those as well. What is the hardest part of your work? That's a loaded question.
The hardest part probably is knowing that I get to go home to bed and that some people don't get to go to a home and to a bed and be as comfortable as some other people get to be. It's just like probably the equality of what some people don't get and then opposed to people who get. So it's just the hard part is probably seeing that some people get what they need and some people don't, like necessities. Yeah. So just trying to make everyone equal and get as much resources as they can when they're here does make the day better.
Yes.
But it can be hard knowing that not everyone gets the same services or
basic
needs met.
Yeah. What's the best part of your job? Wouldn't be fair for me to ask you just the negative, but what have been for you any situations that made you feel really good?
Yeah, of course, like every day is a new day and always something different happens, but the best part of the day is just honestly giving kindness and services that make people smile and, you know, maybe brighten up their day a bit. Just having the human connection with others and making their days better by helping them. I'm all for helping people and making them want, feel better about themselves or the day.
Yeah.
So that's the best part is helping.
To be a harm reduction worker, you really have to be comfortable meeting people where they're at.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
No
I'm all for a
judgment.
no judgment zone, safe place.
Yeah.
Everyone deserves the same kindness and services as anyone else. So.
Do you see the need growing for harm reduction services or other services offered? You mentioned, certainly being here out of the cold.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see an increased need in our community for more?
I mean, I think, more is always better than less. So the more services and the more supports that are out there are going to benefit more people.
Yeah.
Because some people don't get as many benefits as others. So if we had more, then more people could benefit.
Yeah. Are you ever in a place where you can lend your voice to say, let's advocate for more, like in your work, or do you ever sit in meetings where you can say, we need more?
Yeah, I have before. I actually, with my business, Tots Tie-Dye, I take a toonie from every shirt that I teach and I donate it for food here.
Wow.
So they can get cereal and milk and dinner on Sundays. I just find donating food for money is really beneficial because food is donated. So
very good.
Well, thanks for having me.
I saw the broom go up by our producer, so I want to thank you so much for sharing this information today. Thank you to our viewing audience as well for joining us here on We All Belong, Voices of Lived Experiences. Please join us again to learn more from those who share about what it's like to have the lived experience. Take care. Thank you.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
Come on in, take a seat. Or better yet,
look at this crowd on its feet.
For aggressive D and knockdown threes, athleticism and speed, for Spicy P.
Spicy P, feeling it on the big stage.
Yes, this season brings change. Yes, this team has turned the page. But it's still an OG thing, always a Scotty B thing. When you want everything Raptors, nothing but Sportsnet.
Hey, it's Krista McKee here of Wandering Gray Bruce. I am so excited to bring to you the 5th season